last year, Kodak has launched not one, but two affordable point-and-shoot 35mm cameras. Last year, they launched the Kodak Snapic A1, a personal favorite of mine. And most recently, they launched the EC35. And the beautiful thing about both of these cameras is that they're both priced under $100. The Snapic A1, $99, and the EC35, poignantly priced at $35. So then this begs the question, which one should you buy? Because with that difference in price also comes some significant differences in features with these two cameras. And we're gonna get right into it. Probably the biggest difference between the EC35 and the Snapic A1 is the electronics. The Snapic A1 is an automatic point and shoot. This means that when you load the film into the camera, it will automatically wind, and when you finish the roll, it will automatically rewind. It also has an electronic readout for the frame counter, what exposure settings you're set at with the flash. This is all in all a much more electronic camera. Interestingly, this is powered by two AAA batteries, and the EC35 is powered by one AA battery. Now, the only function of this AA battery is to power the built-in flash for this camera. Other than that built-in flash, this camera is fully manual. There is no electronics needed for winding the film, for advancing the film, anything like that. Everything is going to advance manually with the winding crank down at the bottom of the camera. In overall design, the Snapic A1 is a much slimmer and more compact camera. Also a little bit more premium in its feel. The A1 also has quite a bit more features than the EC35. That being the double exposure or multiple exposure toggle here on the top of the camera, and being able to switch between a portrait and landscape mode for the lens. The EC35 is a much more bulky camera in design. It also features the more retro clamshell design similar to like an Olympus stylus. The build of this camera though is much more bulky, not as sturdy, feels a little bit more hollow, and overall doesn't have that more premium feel that the Snapic A1 has. This is a very cheap and plasticky feeling camera. Now, that's not to say that the Snapic A1 is a perfect camera with amazing build quality. There are definitely some design flaws in both of these cameras, and I want to talk about the major design flaw for each one of these. For the Snapic A1, it really comes down to the multiple exposure button or double exposure button being so close to the shutter button. It's really easy to accidentally toggle the double exposure button. Because it's so slim, I have a tendency to want to slide it into my pocket a lot. And honestly, sliding it into any pocket, you do run the risk of accidentally sliding and toggling the multiple exposure button. Overall, I'd say that really is the only design flaw of this camera. Now the EC35, honestly, my biggest complaint with this camera is how flimsy the wind crank feels. When I'm rewinding a roll of film, this thing feels like it's gonna break at any moment. It feels like it's already broken and this thing is brand new. The crank on this thing looks and feels like SpongeBob's broken fingers in the No Weenies Allowed episode. Interestingly, both cameras house a 25mm lens. Now, does this mean that the EC35 has the same 25mm lens for $65 less than the Snapic A1? Luckily for everyone watching this video, I took the liberty of shooting both cameras in the same lighting conditions with the same film stock at the same time in order to compare the results of this 25mm lens that is on both cameras. And honestly, I was pretty shocked by the results. So as usual, I decided to take the cameras to Cannon Beach. Overall, yeah, you can tell that the EC35 has more artifacts randomly throughout the frame, but honestly, I think we can excuse that considering how much cheaper this lens is. Overall, by looking at these images, I would say that the Snapic has softer highlights and the EC35 has punchier shadows. I think especially in the far distance of these frames, you can tell that the Snapic A1 retains a lot more detail. I don't know if the Snapic A1 25mm lens has more coating or more glass layers in it, but I did feel like the EC35 had more issues with lens flare than the Snapic does. I've definitely never had lens flare this bad coming off of the Snapic. Both of these cameras definitely have an issue with vignetting, I don't know. But the EC35 also has a lot of blurring that happens around the edges of the frame, whereas the Snapic has much more clarity in the edge-to-edge aspects of the frame. And yeah, we're talking about 35mm, so every bit of resolution that we can get, I do think makes a difference in the dollar-to-dollar comparison. So who are these cameras for, and which one should you buy? To be honest, in the dollar-to-dollar comparison, I think the Snapic A1 is the better investment. In the world of 35mm point-and-shoot cameras, I really do think that the Snapic A1 is a major underdog. I genuinely don't think there's anything we did to deserve this camera, especially at the price point that it comes in at with $99, getting you so much value for your buck. The EC35 is a great option for anyone looking for something other than a disposable camera. This camera is fun by all metrics, don't get me wrong on that. And if you're absolutely strapped, you have no cash, but you've got maybe 50 bucks to your name right now, and you desperately want to get into film photography, you want to shoot that first roll, then yeah, the EC35 could be a good option. Just keep in mind that yes, this camera is $35, but it's going to cost you at least, let's say, $10, maybe $12 to get a roll of Kodak Gold, and then another $15, $20 for development and scans. So realistically, we're talking about $60, $70 before you see that first roll of film come back to you. Like I said, this hobby is expensive. It has no signs of getting any cheaper anytime soon. But all in all, I'm very happy that both these cameras exist. We have to continue to make photography approachable, especially film photography. And so a company like Kodak making cool, affordable, approachable cameras, that's a win in my book every day of the week. But yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to compare and contrast these two cameras side by side, put some results side by side for you. Those images that you saw were unedited, so that's the raw scans from both cameras, so make your assumptions based on those things. I think if you're already into film photography and you're looking for a reliable point and shoot that isn't going to die on you in the next year, I think the Snapic A1 is genuinely a very good option to consider. I recommend the Snapic A1 to everybody. I think it's an awesome camera, fun, affordable, does everything you need it to do. The EC35, it's very much a toy kind of camera to me. Like, I would give this to like my little niece or nephew and load a roll of cheap film in here and say, go crazy, take pictures of whatever you want. I would recommend it to somebody who's never tried film photography before. They've never experienced it. They've never, I don't know. This is like barely a step up from a disposable camera. So coming from the standpoint of someone who has no skin in the game, just wants to try it out, a disposable camera I think is almost more approachable. I don't like disposable cameras just because they're disposable, they're junk, they're plastic, you don't keep it, and they're wasteful, yada yada yada. But I do have a hard time recommending the EC35. I think the clamshell design is fun. I think that $35 is a pretty good price for what you get. I think if they could have made it $5 cheaper and not had the clamshell design, I think that would have been better personally, but that's just me. I know it's satisfying to have that little sliding door open and close, but it's just another thing that can break and another thing that will make someone eventually not want to pick it up if they happen to break that slider door, because it really is so flimsy. I'm not here to knock on this camera. I'm not here to discourage you from buying it if you're interested in it. It is a fun camera. I just think there are a lot of better options, including the Snapic A1. If you want to save just a couple more bones and invest in a real point and shoot camera, I think that the Snapic A1 is the way to go. That is just my opinion. Take that with a grain of salt. There are a lot of people on this platform in particular who will disagree with me, but I think that this is one of the greatest point and shoot film cameras to come out in the recent era of point and shoot 35mm cameras. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to continue to support the channel, please consider becoming a member. You can click the join button down below to find out more about that. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing. Thank you so much for watching, for commenting, for interacting and engaging with this video in any way you can. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I will see you in the next video.